choose.
That is what I chose.
Never back it down, and even if I lose,
Never take it
I'm willing
out.
to go and die on this hill.
Oh well.
Terry Crews. I became a target all simply for my views. I'm willing to go and die on this hill. Terry Crews.
Facts. I'm ringing the alarm, time to wake up. Wake it up.
40 acres, lot of ground for us to make up.
Wake it up.
All this violence that we see, we need to break up and understand that we all got a cross we can take up. But usually our community in this situation is cause we seeking unity without communication. We sprinkle in the media and their misinformation, and now we got communism running out through the nation. Talking about defunding all the police.
What you mean?
Got us marching, yelling no justice, no peace.
No peace.
Out here looting black businesses and slowly becoming the very thing that we said we are opposing. Wow. I swear we all just need a mirror. It's 2020, y'all, and it couldn't be any clearer. And if I tweet some things, I'm hoping they be a trigger
Yes, sir.
to make you reconsider. I feel like Terry Crews.
I feel like Terry Crews.
I became a target all simply for my...
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. Let me pull my mic over. Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. I am one of the two kings of the Rube Empire, the mad scientist Matt, the Ivory Tower, the Philosopher King, and I have a perspective on things. And with me, needing no introduction anymore, because he's not new. You've seen him before. You know him. You love him. Yes, give me 1 second. Okay, I don't know if your audio is working for some reason. No, it should be. Talk again. Talk now.
I'm still here.
There we go. Okay.
Did they not hear me that whole time?
I don't know. It's
I hope
possible.
they could. I'm just dropping some gold.
It's possible. This is we're still working out the kinks of everybody being remote. I had the second remote channel up, and now the first remote channel. But anyway, you know him, you love him. It's Dusty, the producer. Dusty. And,
Thank you.
Yes, the kick-ass Duke. And we're here, ready to rock and roll again, because it's Thursday, and we're on this 3-day-a-week thing. And
Yes.
I'm enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying it. You think the Rube Empire's enjoying it?
We've got more views, so I think they are.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, YouTube are up. Facebook views are up. Twitch is unfortunately still the same. I don't know.
Well,
What's
Twitch
up
is a
with
live streaming app platform, so not a. We hurt Twitch by going less. Twitch, you gain more by. We should be a 9-hour stream.
They want to watch me sleep. I'm sure that's fine. I don't think they want to because
Yeah,
you'd rather.
exactly. So we changed the format to make it more shareable, which will help us on other platforms, not so much on Twitch.
That's true. But we still love our Twitch people.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody who can make it live, it's great.
Venice.
We're just trying to figure out what works. That's that's all there is to it. And we want to provide the best content for you. And we're here with another doozy today. It's a doozy.
Seriously, the Bidens. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Might as well just go ahead.
Just play the video, please.
Yeah.
So everybody knows exactly what we're talking about, because there's so much to unpack with this thing.
Yep. We're just gonna have the audio from the video, but that's okay.
That's fine.
So let's give it a listen. As soon as I can get to it.
Highly contagious Delta variant that I began to warn America about back in July spread late summer like it did in other countries before us. While the vaccines provide strong protection for the vaccinated, we read about and hear about and we see the stories of hospitalized people on their deathbeds among the unvaccinated over the past few weeks. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. And it's caused by the fact that despite America having unprecedented and successful vaccination program, despite the fact that for almost 5 months, free vaccines have been available in 80,000 different locations, we still have nearly 80 million Americans who have failed to get the shot. And to make matters worse, there are elected officials actively working to undermine the fight against COVID-19. Instead of encouraging people to get vaccinated and mask up, they're ordering mobile morgues for the unvaccinated dying from COVID in their communities. This is totally unacceptable. The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals, are overrunning emergency rooms and intensive care units.
Not true.
Leaving no room for someone with a heart attack or pancreatitis or cancer. And a distinct minority of Americans, supported by a distinct minority of elected officials, are keeping us from turning the corner. These pandemic politics, as I refer to, are making people sick, causing unvaccinated people to die. We cannot allow these actions to stand in the way of protecting the large majority of Americans who have done their part. Want to get back to life as normal.
Million,
this is not about freedom or personal choice.
Yeah.
It's about protecting yourself and those around you, the people you work with, the people you care about, the people you love. My job as president is to protect all Americans.
Wrong.
So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a month.
Isn't that unconstitutional?
Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this. The bottom line, we're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated coworkers. We're going to reduce the spread of COVID-19 by increasing the share of the workforce that is vaccinated in businesses all across America. I will sign an executive order that will now require all executive branch federal employees to be vaccinated, all. And I've signed another executive order that will require federal contractors to do the same. If you want to work with the federal government and do business with us, get vaccinated. If you want to do business with the federal government, vaccinate your workforce. And tonight, I'm removing one of the last remaining obstacles that make it difficult for you to get vaccinated. The Department of Labor will require employers with 100 or more workers to give those workers paid time off to get vaccinated. No one should lose pay in order to get vaccinated or take a loved one to get vaccinated.
So, that's good. That's wonderful stuff.
Yeah, that's it's not about freedom though.
Yeah, it's not about freedom or personal choice. That's not what this country was founded on. No.
Didn't he last year in I believe it was February of last year specifically say I will not mandate masks, or I will not mandate vaccines.
Yes, he did. Yes, I saw. There's a video of him saying that.
And now he's mandating it.
Yep. With condescension in his voice. Stern daddy Biden, govern me harder, daddy. Biden is coming down on us, You naughty unvaccinated.
You unvaccinated people. How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all I can hear is Boss Hog. So, what's to stop him from dropping that number from 100 employees to 50 employees?
Nothing.
20 employees to 10 employees to everybody.
You know what's to stop him? People quitting their jobs. I mean, this is and that may not even stop him. That may just make him, go full police state. Full
dictatorship.
What is the martial law? But that's why I titled this episode "The Time Has Come." The time has come. Now is our time. If we don't stand now, we don't stand ever.
Put up or shut up.
What is going to happen when your company of 100 or more comes and tells you that you can't work here if you don't have the vaccine, and you feel you don't want to do it?
How do you prove it?
Yeah, I mean, now
all I have to do is go walk around for a little bit, get paid to walk around for a little bit, come back. Okay, I'm vaccinated. There's no database that says you are or aren't. How do you prove it? There is no way to prove that.
Well, you have to. I mean, I'm sure that you'll have to have some kind of documentation.
What documentation?
Something from your doctor, from a doctor. Something that they can follow up. They're not going to just let you walk around and not do it, I mean, with this comes the requirement for proof,
And there is none. They don't provide any of that.
Sure they do. They have those little stamp things, at the very least. But
I'll let the viewers in on a little secret here. I am vaccinated. I got vaccinated quite a while ago, actually. Back in, February, I think. And they gave me a little card. Guess what? That card is absolutely destroyed. I left it in my car for pretty much this entire time, and it's unreadable.
Mm-hmm.
How do I prove that I got vaccinated?
I'm sure. Where did you go?
It's down by the airport.
Okay, so one of the
mass places.
Gotcha.
And
I don't know how you prove. I don't know how you prove, but either way, they're going to require proof. So.
And I'm not saying that I wish I wasn't vaccinated, because guess what? I really don't care. It's personal choice. I want everybody to have the choice to get vaccinated or not. I don't demean anybody for not getting vaccinated. That is your choice. I made a choice. I chose to. It's up to you on whether or not you want to. You don't have to. You shouldn't have to.
You don't have to. But with it is going to come consequences. There will be consequences. This is the direction we've been saying that we're gonna get, that things are going. And now he's just out and out doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we live in Florida. Ron DeSantis has said that there will be no mandatory vaccines. He's one of those elected officials who's fighting against COVID-19, blah, 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 garbage. He's actually fighting for our rights.
Yeah. Our freedom.
Yes.
Because that's what it comes down to. It's, do you have the liberty to say no? Do you have the freedom to be able to
without consequence?
The right move for me?
Without consequence. Because we always have the freedom to say no. But that doesn't mean that that there's going to be no consequences. And is that freedom? That's an argument that we can have, later. But
yeah,
I work for a company that is well over 100 employees. And they're like, we're following CDC guidelines. Blah 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 blah. If they come
the
to
CDC,
what's that?
It doesn't mandate labor. What they can, where they can issue out, hey, I think you guys should follow these guidelines to protect your employees. I think these would help. But they can't say you have to do these.
Yeah, I know. He's using the Department of Labor to make businesses do that. Right?
Yeah. And what are they going to be?
Remember that Department of Labor that's all over the Constitution. Oh, wait. Not.
Where?
Yeah, it isn't actually. But,
so
they follow what I mean is they follow the CDC guidelines in that, they're rule followers, right? They don't leave it up to their employees on what to do, right?
On making decisions.
Yeah, on making decisions for, whether or not they should wear masks, how far, social distancing, all that crap. They follow the CDC guidelines. And so when the Labor Department comes, I wouldn't be surprised if they follow what the Labor Department says, despite what the state of Florida's position is, And when that day comes and they tell me, you have to be vaccinated to work here, I'm going to tell them, then I guess I don't work here anymore. You scumbags, and this is pathetic.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. Yes, people are getting sick. Guess what? They were getting sick prior to getting vaccinated.
And in his own speech, he says 200 million Americans at least have one shot. 200 million Americans. If that number is true, that's 2/3 of the country. That's a majority.
Yeah.
And all that crap about the hospitals being overrun is garbage. It's a complete fabrication. A complete fabrication from multiple sources. We talked about this yesterday. Multiple stories over and over again. All of them false. All of them false. Complete fabrications. But this is like we said yesterday, this is the narrative that they're pushing to justify what he's done today. Just a day later, after we're talking about the narrative, he's used the narrative to push this crap on us.
And he hasn't even addressed the issue of the nursing shortage.
Mm-hmm.
Nurses
you mean all the nurses who quit their job because they didn't want to get vaccinated? They didn't trust the vaccine?
Correct.
Yeah.
And too many of them quit, and now they're short-staffed for the COVID patients that they do have.
Why is it so important that we all get vaccinated? in the speech, he says vaccinated people are
It's not vaccine.
very, very extremely safe from this virus.
It's
If
not
that's
about
the case, then it doesn't matter.
because okay, he is once again making us versus them argument. It's
Oh yeah.
vaccinated versus unvaccinated. It's white versus black. It's Republican versus Democrat. It is breaking us apart farther and farther apart so it's easier for them to control. The more there's animosity between us as Americans instead of us working together, the easier it is for people like him and people like Nancy Pelosi and the bigwigs on the Democratic side, and even some of the bigwigs on the Republican side, to control us.
I kind of have the feeling that the 200 million Americans having gotten at least one shot is kind of bogus. Maybe it might be that might be fabricated as well.
I think it's inflated, but I have no.
There's actually they're going to these lengths because most of America hasn't, but they throw the number out because psychologically that makes people, that makes low information people. Well, like 200 million Americans. Okay, well then I guess I might as well. I guess it hasn't been that bad. Maybe I should trust it.
Want to be a lemming and jump off the cliff? I got lucky. There's a lot of people that have had some serious side effects to these vaccines.
Yes.
And
we still don't know the long-term effects.
There's no data on the long-term effects.
Of course not.
And
because it's brand new. It's brand freaking new.
Yeah.
We are the test group.
We are.
And then he went and said that the it's got FDA approval. That's not true. The version of the vaccine that's got FDA approval isn't available anywhere.
What, Pfizer?
Yeah, Pfizer. Everything that we're still using is the EUA version of the vaccine. The alpha and beta, vaccine.
Yeah.
If you read the document of the FDA approval, that's a different one. It's still, it might be exactly the same. We don't know, but it has a different name, and it's not been, released to the public yet. Not even it's sometime later this, like at the end of this month, I believe.
Not to mention the efficacy of these vaccines drop off precipitously after 3 months.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that
3
too.
The efficacy of Pfizer, the one that's approved, drops down from 96% after 3 months to right around 71, 72% in 6.
Yeah. Well, that's why boosters.
Oh yeah, you can't get boosters. They're not available
They're
yet.
just going to be giving us shots.
The reason being
all the
is
time.
the side effects from a booster shot, if you're within 1 year, is extremely high and very dangerous. That's why they're saying, wait, don't get a booster yet. We don't want that many people with side effects on a vaccine that we say is safe.
I looked up the mobile morgues thing that he had to say. That was a story from last month. Apparently, Florida has some mobile morgues. Basically, it's just a tractor trailer with a refrigerated unit.
Yeah.
But get this, okay? Again, the article talks about the spike in cases.
Okay.
Nothing about death. I mean, not nothing about death. Obviously, the mobile morgues are for, to be prepared for a spike in deaths.
Yes.
Because we see a spike in cases, right? But we've been seeing a spike in cases for months and months and months and months and months. Everybody's talking about spikes in cases. Oh, there's a spike in cases. in this state, and in this state, and in this state, and in this state they're locking down, and in this state they're doing absolutely nothing. You know, well, the same thing is true in Scandinavia. They did absolutely nothing, and are still doing nothing.
Yep.
Then Denmark just turned off all the valves, like a month ago. They just said, we're not doing anything else about COVID. It's fine. We're good. Everything's good.
Yeah. We've done everything we can.
We've seen. We know what it is now, and it's not worth doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But forget them. We'll just memory hole them, and it's about the unvaccinated here. They're evil.
Mm-hmm.
But so they got that. So this article talks about the spiking cases. Something like 24,000 new cases in Florida, right? 24,000. How many deaths do you think that they had reported?
There has to be. Let's see. If there's 24,000, there has to be like 2,000 or 3,000 or 5,000. It's got to be a really high number.
It's 4.
What?
4 deaths.
4,000?
No, 4 deaths.
400.
4 with no zeros after it. Just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
4 deaths.
4.
Yeah. That was their listing. That was this article's listing. This is the article on the mobile morgue thing. All right, saying there's been a spike in cases, 24,000, and 4, including 4 new deaths. Now, let me take a step back and say what we always have to say, because people don't know how to handle perspective, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, those 4 deaths are sad and
tragic.
My heart breaks for the people who remain grieving after their loved ones. That is, it's obviously not fun. Not trying, and I don't want to make light of people dying.
And part of the reason why I wasn't here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My brother-in-law is in the ER currently with pneumonia and with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
His family is absolutely terrified.
I'm sure.
And I think it's mostly because of the media, but it's a scary time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and pneumonia would be a comorbidity. Pneumonia kills people every year.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing about this freaking situation. The flu and pneumonia have been killing people since since way before our families even existed on this earth.
Yeah.
Right? Pneumonia is an ancient thing. The flu is an ancient thing.
Yeah.
It's been killing people by the thousands, the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands worldwide.
By the millions.
Every year.
Yeah.
But now we're losing our mind because this other thing comes along and, and works and does the same thing, but far less effectively. Like, COVID only kills people if you get something else, generally, if you have something else going on.
Seems very similar to another one that does that, AIDS.
Yeah, you don't die from
HIV.
AIDS. You die from getting something else because your immune system's garbage. Because of AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we all know the cure for that. Thank you, South Park.
I don't even put that one.
You just inject money directly into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
Kills it every
Millions
time.
of dollars destroys HIV.
They go to Magic Johnson's house to find out, and he'd been sleeping on a pile of money, and didn't know that was the reason why he'd lived for so long despite getting AIDS.
Now, HIV.
Such as, oh man.
Funny episode.
They say what people won't say in the most boorish of ways, you know?
Yeah, mostly. And the greatest thing about South Park is nobody's safe. Absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
To this day, my favorite episode is the one about Scientology.
Yes.
And the best part of the whole episode is the very end, when they're yelling at each other, "We're gonna sue you!" Okay, go ahead. Sue me. What do I care? Sue me. And the credits roll, and it's all Jane Smith, John Smith, Jane Smith, John Smith. No one created the episode. No one took credit for the episode.
That's genius.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead and sue John Smith. He was the editor of that episode. We don't have a John Smith on our staff. Sorry.
Yeah, you got rid of him.
Yep.
That's great.
Oh, it was hilarious. But it's stuff like that where you have to stand up and you have to call them out on the BS that they're just throwing down. And the fact that he starts out the entire thing with, "This is not about your freedoms."
Yeah.
It's everything about your freedom. Your freedom to
That's
choose.
what America is about.
Your freedoms is everything to do with the government.
Yep.
Because the more the government grows, the more your freedoms shrink.
And your freedoms
more
don't come from the government. They come from God.
No,
So the government has
They
no
come from-
right to interfere with them.
they are inalienable rights. There's a reason why they use that word to describe the rights. That
You
means
can't
they
be
don't come
alienated from them. They're intrinsic
come-
to you.
They don't come from Biden. They don't come from Trump. The only thing the government does is take away your freedoms
Mhm.
to where you have nothing but your fists to fight back with.
That's why we need as small a government as possible, or possibly no government. I'm debating
I
those
know you-
issues.
I know you're toying with that idea. The anarchist in you is really starting to grow. I'm not there yet. I'm still.
You gotta listen
libertarian-
to the arguments because they're quite powerful. I
They
still
are
have
powerful.
questions. But everything that they have to say, some people say it in really condescending ways. You know,
Mhm.
like you're a brainwashed sheeple, you know, statist, right? And to them, I'm just like, cram it
So-
with walnuts, ugly, you know.
So
All right.
one of the things that I thought of when doing this is I recently finished the Federalist Papers by Thomas Jefferson and anyways,
Was it at Hamilton?
Hamilton, yeah, and Burr.
Mhm.
One of Thomas Jefferson's papers was he wanted a civil war every 19 years to to bring about change in the government.
Mm.
He wanted a civil war about every 19 years or so to go, hey, we need to really test these ideas, and if they don't work, they need to go.
Yeah.
Not build more and more on bad idea.
Mhm.
Oh, look, we've got an entire civilization on bad ideas. And you know what? When I first read that, I was like, that sounds really stupid. You want an all-out war like they did during Lincoln's time? that sounds like a really bad idea. But anymore, it's becoming a little bit more reasonable,
Yeah.
considering what you're talking about.
Well, the thing is that things don't get to the point of civil war in 19 years, you know?
That's true.
It would have to be the true meaning of civil, you know, a war, you know? It would be more
Yeah.
like we sit down and we debate, like real honest debate. Is that agency really doing anything for us? No. Okay, then it's gone. You know, or yes. And I know you want to get rid of it, but you know, look at all these things. I don't know, you know. I think that the argument always stands with less, but
Or even, okay, this part of that department is really working well. The rest of it is all garbage. Get rid of it. Keep this one little part of it.
maybe,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. But
for sure.
anyways,
But ultimately, I think the message of today's episode is the time has come.
yeah.
That time is now. They're coming for you. He's just did it. He just did it. All right? And
What?
and his administration is smugly smiling and saying it's coming. You know? Cuz they're totalitarian a-holes that don't
So
care
my
about you. They care about their
my question-
power. Sorry.
Is what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do when they come to your office and say, "Oh, Mr. and Mrs. So and so, we don't have any file on here that you got your vaccine. Did you have some proof of that?"
No,
What
I don't.
are you going-
'Cause I didn't. Now, I know you got kids out there. I know you got families to feed. I got the same thing.
Yeah.
I got the same thing. But, you know, we do this show because we believe in these ideas.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes you gotta, I mean, there's gonna come a point. We have to have been watching all this happening this entire time and realize that the time was going to come where we'd have to put our money where our mouth is. You know? That
Yeah.
something was going to impact our lives and we would have to stand by our convictions.
Did you see the people in Italy burning their vaccine cards,
Love it.
standing in solidarity with the
Yeah, man.
unvaccinated?
France, Italy, so many European countries are resisting, and America's just kind of sitting
South
there.
Africa was in full outright protests.
Over the
because of the
vaccines.
law.
I thought that was something else. Or
Well,
was
there
that
was something, but that was just last week. They were
okay? I didn't know that.
that broke out. We had France, England. There's a bunch of protests in England about the lockdowns. Australia. How do we not mention Australia?
Yeah, it's just videos of clashes with the police. Over
They had to shut down the internet.
I mean,
They
Canada.
don't want this.
Canada's
Canada.
not. Canada's, got tyranny going as well, but they don't seem to be as resistant to it. I mean,
So,
there's a show on the Blaze called Slightly Offensive with Elijah Schaefer, and him and this other girl Sydney Watson are starting their own show on YouTube called You Are Here. And basically, she's from Australia. Her family's still there, and she was on she was on Slightly Offensive, as a guest host. And I mean, she was in tears, just thinking about what her family is going through.
yeah.
In all this madness, this
I've got a cousin
absolute
who
madness.
lives.
You got a what?
I've got a cousin who lives in Australia. she's. I won't go into detail on it because I don't want to get her into trouble and pull her into anything.
Sure.
But she lives in Brisbane, and she can't go more than 5 kilometers from where she lives. That's essentially you're in jail.
Did you see the story of the dude who had COVID and they had like a citywide manhunt for him because he left his apartment and went into an elevator and went who knows when. Citywide manhunt for his arrest. They eventually found him back in his quarantine apartment. Back where they wanted him to be, but they arrested him anyway. Because, he was on video leaving.
They've got things on your phone that if you don't check in 15 minutes after they send you a notification, you will be arrested. A warrant is sent out for your arrest. If that's not a dictatorship, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And guess what? We're heading straight.
All this fiction through the years, in the past couple decades, dystopian future science fiction has been very, very popular. And it's not fiction anymore. It's now. We live in that dystopian future. They used a virus to make it happen. Disgusting.
Anyways, guys, that's our time for tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. Be aware. They're coming for you.
Yes. You've been watching...
It's not something I'm trying to scare everybody with. It's something that they need to be aware of.
Yeah, well, they're trying to scare you with it.
Yeah.
Let's not be afraid. Let's not live in fear and live with the courage of our convictions. You've been watching Plausible Foolishness, home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary. Like, share, and subscribe, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/Plausible Foolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, anywhere you can get a podcast, Rumble, Instagram, and minds.com. Peace out. See you later.
What I said was defeating white supremacy. White people could create black supremacy. And this is what I'm talking about.
I feel like Terry Crews. I became a target all simply for my views. I'm willing to go and die on this hill. Yeah, Terry Crews. I questioned BLM and that's all it took. Now they call me Uncle Tom. You ever read the book? I'm seeing black supremacy everywhere I look. Exposed the whole agenda, dog, and I left them shook. They coming for my head, now I'm speaking out. On the road to equality, ain't no different route. From Don Lemon and others putting words in my mouth, to the gatekeepers I still don't know anything about. That's the hard truth within the black race. Typecasted as a white man in black face. So they label me a traitor, a disgrace. That's why nowadays I feel like Terry Crews. I became a target all simply for my views. Stand on my beliefs, dog, that is what I choose. Never back it down, and even if I lose, I'm willing to go and die on this hill.